What a game to start the season, baby. Oh, NBA and NBC had. I just noticed that.
Yeah, just
Give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
clap.
Even if you're driving.
Do not clap if you're driving.
Clap
Please.
even if you're driving, ladies and gentlemen. What a game to start the season. Didn't notice Kevin Durant there in the fourth quarter, overtime and double overtime because the Rockets didn't want to pass him the ball. But nonetheless, great game. Great game. Let's go to the box score. For the Thunder, SGA finished with 35-5-5. Chet Holmgren with a great start, finished with 28-7. AJ Mitchell, welcome back. 16 points in 14 minutes for the Rockets. Sengun with a crazy night, 39-11-7. Kevin Durant, 23-9. And Amen Thompson, he left the game with an injury, finished with 18-5. It was a weird game for me because I feel like both teams didn't really play their best, even though, the Rockets were winning most of the game. I still feel like their offensive process was very clunky. The absence of Fred VanVleet was very obvious, which is why I had them down in my rankings. This is exactly why. I didn't really have a point guard to run any process whatsoever. Reed Shepherd had his welcome to the NBA moment, so seeing how difficult it was to play point guard. Granted, it's against probably one of the best defensive perimeter teams I've ever seen in my life. So we're going to give him grace. We're going to cut him some slack. And the Thunder just could not hit a three to save their lives. It wasn't up until the mid-third quarter, when they started turning up the defense with Case and Wallace, Alex Caruso. They started getting easy buckets, and they started hitting some threes, but SGA just turned into a superhero, and that's how you win a basketball game in the league, apparently. But a very entertaining game, a very fun game to watch. The Thunder showing why they're the NBA champions. A lot of resolve. I thought of you, Kwab, at halftime, because we always talk about how the Thunder are down, or like they'll have games where they're down in the first half, or it's kind of even, and then they just blow the doors off the other team in the second half. Knew they were a second half team, knew there was going to be some fight, and to me, again, they won this game on the defensive end, turning the game around. A lot of energy on that end, leading to easier buckets, and they just had a better offensive process to me. I mean, even when they were missing shots, when the Rockets were going zone, for the most part, they were hitting in the middle of the zone, kicking it out for three. They were just missing. The only time it seemed like they really had trouble with the zone was when, for some reason, they tried to run like a pick and roll with Case and Wallace on the wing, and then Case would go on the pick and roll. He would drive into the teeth of the defense, and it kind of would just collapse on him, and he didn't really make smart decisions. Same with SGA in those moments. They were better just kind of flashing and creating from there. But outside of that, I thought OKC, they settled for a lot of threes. But at the end, when you have SGA, who you can just give the ball to and say, hey, go, that helps a lot. And they were able to come out victorious.
Going into this game, I had like a couple of thoughts on what I wanted to see. I wanted to see how the Thunder were going to react to his zone, because we knew the Rockets were going to play zone with that lineup.
Yeah.
And early on they were able to like you said, the process. The Thunder had a good process with the zone, because obviously they knew they were going to see it. So you saw a lot of aggressive Chet Holmgren to start the game, which was great. And then late in the game, it's Shai time. There's a reason why he was the MVP last year. Like, he's clutch. He gets these buckets. But on top of that, we always talk about the Thunder defense, right? It's still ridiculous. It's so crazy. They started making it felt like had the momentum when it was Caruso, it was Case and Wallace, kind of getting those stops. So that made a world of a difference. Also, another thing I wanted to see was like, who's going to be the random player that steps up for the Thunder. And it was Mitchell. Now I don't know if his first name is
AJ.
Pronounced AJ.
I say AJ.
Or a J, because this is so. If Thunder fans in the comments, please let us know. Please let me know if I'm, because I think Mike Tirico kept saying a J Mitchell, and I was like,
Okay.
wait, is that the right pronunciation? So, I remember last year when we did a couple of Thunder games, and we were talking about, is there something the Thunder need? And we're talking about maybe a secondary ball handler, a backup point guard that can come up and, like, I guess, score, release pressure. And we were like, hey, they don't really have that on the team. And a lot of Thunder fans were in the comments like, Mitchell, they have Mitchell. When Mitchell comes back. Comes back. And he's back, and we see why. So, and they did this without arguably your second best player.
That's right. J-Dub was out the whole game.
Yeah, so you saw fantastic team. There's a reason why we and everybody else has them number one when it comes to Western Conference rankings. On the Rockets side, you harped on this all off season with after they lost Fred VanVleet about their lack of point guard play. Couple of times where it was so obvious. was when somebody's trying to inbound the ball and nobody's coming back to get the ball to bring it up. Something that simple, because a point guard knows I have to get the ball to bring it in. Something that simple. There was so many times it was like Sengun was taking out the ball and he's waiting for somebody to come get the ball. Something that simple makes a difference. And their offense was it felt clunky throughout the course of the game.
The whole game, it was clunky. The only
like
times it was smooth was when Amen Thompson just decided I'm going to take the ball to the hoop if they're lagging off of me and take it, straight into the hole. But even then, it was like it was clunky.
It was clunky. And granted, like I don't know many other teams are going to be able to guard the Rockets like the Thunder do, because not many teams have defensive player here, defensive player here, defensive player here. You know what I mean? That's to me, that's the difference. If they played another team, it might not look as clunky. A lot of stuff they were trying, they would have been able to execute easier. But the amount of pressure they were facing with the Thunder defense, it slowed them down. Sengun played phenomenal, I think. He had a great game. Even though, like, it felt like he was seeing 2 or 3 people every time they were playing box and elbows. The Thunder weren't necessarily playing zone. They were just kind of stacking the box anytime he would catch the ball. And it was making it hard for him to score inside, but he was hitting threes. He played phenomenal.
He was fantastic. And the threes he was hitting too, like, were just kind of like, I don't say flat-footed, but like he was open stepping into them. Like, he was taking them from a distance, like with a man in his face, and he was just making shots. I mean, to me, it was disappointing to see the Rockets. Like, KD checks back in the game with 5 minutes to go in the fourth, and they didn't run any action for him whatsoever. I mean, for the whole fourth quarter, overtime and double overtime, I think he initiated offense maybe twice. One of them might have been the game-winning basket if they were able to hold on, which was him. He didn't even initiate it. He got the ball at the top of the key. The Thunder doubled him, and he just found Sengun cut into the hole for an easy layup. I mean, that's the gravity that he has. It was just shocking to me that they didn't run any type of actions for him. For a lot of the game, he was just kind of chilling out on the wing, foul line extended, just watching stuff happen.
But was it a case of they're not running stuff for him, or like
they didn't run anything for him?
No, I'm just saying because part of it, I think part of it that is like we're kind of. A lot of people were like, even commentators were kind of saying you're glossing over, is that he was being pressured the whole time by Lou Dort. Like,
I get that, but then you set a down screen, you come get, or you have him as a ball screener, pick and pop. Like, there's different ways to get him open. You just don't have him chilling.
I get that, but I'm talking about. There's not going to be a lot of other teams that are going to be able to guard you like this. Like you've made this point so many times, right? Where when we watch a Thunder game and you're like, a lot of teams are setting the screen to get you off a man to a better mismatch.
Yeah.
Who's like where?
I mean, I'm not saying get KD a mismatch. But what I'm saying is, like, you can have him as a screener and a roller, a screener and a popper. You can get him on the block, set a down screen, have him curl off of a down screen. You can have him in there's different actions you can get him off the ball.
I get that. No, I get that. And the reason all I'm saying is that there were times they were trying that, like they would try to have like Reed initiate with the ball instead of screen. To me, it was like he had no breathing room. That's how I saw it.
But again, like they were trying to force him the ball at the nail, like I
agree.
A lot, in the whole horn set. Like to me, it's like, okay, that doesn't work though, because they're denying that. If he does get the ball, he's not getting it in a comfortable spot.
Yeah.
I understand not wanting him to play point guard. He's 37 years old. You don't want him bringing the ball up, but you don't want that load on him every single night. I get that. And then also, like, he turned the ball over like 3 or 4 times at the top of the key today.
Yeah.
I might be exaggerating there, but 2 or 3 times. So I get that, but this is why you got him, right? Like, you went in the offseason, you got Kevin Durant so that your half-court offense does not look like this. And I understand that Fred VanVleet was out, but you still have to incorporate him some way, somehow. You can't just have him chill on foul line extended. And I know Sengun was having a good game. I get that, but this is the whole reason why you got him here. Yeah. Now, it's the first game of the season, so I'm not going to sit here and like make all these proclamations about the Rockets and what they look like. But if this continues, like if we're game 50, game 60, and the Rockets still haven't figured things out, if you're still like having KD kind of chilling, foul line extended, then it's like, all right, what are we doing here? And I think a lot of it does have to do with the fact you don't have Fred VanVleet, somebody who can initiate type of offense, And then when you have Amen Thompson, as great as he is, you're not going to respect that. They were giving him the 3 all night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So they were.
Yeah, so it is different. And Udoka has to figure it out. But it was just very disappointing to me to see the lack of, I guess, action for KD. off the ball action. It was weird to see. But credit to OKC. I mean, we say this all the time about the Thunder. They're, I mean, one of the best defensive teams I've ever seen. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, and
yeah,
any one of them could change the game on the dime. Like Case
on
and
the
Wallace
whim.
to me in the
Yeah,
third quarter, and Caruso changed the game completely. I think AJ or Ajay would Thunder fans let us know, but Mitchell changed the game in the first half.
yep,
With his not just like him hitting shots, but like the floor play too. He had a nice assist to Chet Holmgren on a fast break. Like, to me, the Thunder just couldn't get out their own way. They were being very lazy. Like, except for Chet in the first half, it was just settling. SGA really didn't get himself involved at all shooting the basketball in the first half. He took it upon himself in the second half. And they kind of just woke up. They started hitting their shots. Their process seemed to be okay. Even when they were missing threes, they were pretty much open, but they could have gotten better shots because a lot of times it was early in the shot clock.
yeah.
But overall, I mean, it was a great game. It was the first game of the season for both teams, so I'm not going to judge too harshly.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Either way.
overreact too much.
Yeah,
Over
and then
there.
and then J Dub's out, so like
Yep.
of course if you're missing your second best player, your second best scorer, you offensively, it might take a little bit here. And then with the Rockets, if you're missing your starting point guard for the past few years, of course, game one against the best defense we've seen in years,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a little bit.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna say.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I don't. Like you said, if the Rockets, like you said, Udoka needs to figure this out, and if it's looking like this, and like in the future, that's gonna be a problem. I don't. Again, that's all I'm saying is like credit, like you said, credit to the Thunder defense. I don't know many other teams that are gonna make you look like this throughout the course of a game.
Not many.
Just because of how
You're right.
ridiculous the Thunder defense is. Like
You're right.
we're gonna beat that drum to death. Like I feel like any game when we cover the Thunder, because it's just like you bring in Caruso, Case and Wallace, Lou Dort, like Mitchell, even Shai, like the type of pressure they have up top. It's just ridiculous.
It is. All right, well, listen, the Thunder win. They take opening night 125-124 in double overtime. Great way to start the season, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, I'm someone who you don't really. It's not football, right? In NFL, like there's 17 games you have. You have to like adjust really fast. Like 2 or 3 losses to start the season could be the end of it. For me, I like to make judgments like 10 games at a time, right?
Yeah.
Let's see where the Rockets are after 10 games. Let's see where the Thunder are after 10 games. Then we can start making like, all right, this is what I see. This is what I think is going on. After one game, I think if you're the Rockets, if you're a Rocket fan, you're proud of your team for sticking with the world champions on the road, double overtime in a game you could have won. If I'm a Thunder fan, you pulled out a hard-fought victory against a team that could be a contender without your second best player.
Yeah.
Two things to take away. There are things to take away from both ends. Great game though, and I'm happy that the NBA's back on NBC. Jeez, so
It felt like a playoff game. It felt like we were watching like a legit playoff. It was amazing.
Me and Kizzle were crying. We were holding each other. It was beautiful.
It was crazy when you hear the sound. It's like, yo, this is great. This is great.
All right, we're gonna be reviewing Lakers Warriors when that's over. So stay tuned for that. If you want to follow Dime, you can everywhere at the Dime NBA. Also, stay tuned for Dime After Dark on Tuesdays after 11 o'clock games. Kwab and I are gonna shut the lights. We're gonna go live. And we're gonna talk to you. What?
What?
We can't talk to our fans?
No, lights are gonna stay on, brother. Like,
No, my lights are gonna be on.
I need to see.
All right, make sure you subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. We'll see you for Warriors Lakers later. Peace.